Who do you want to be? No, really. Who? Or maybe even what? It's possible to be them all. This is COSGENDER. Beyond the pages of a comic or the script of a film, cosplay blooms as a vibrant form of expression. It's more than just wearing a costume, it's an embodiment, stepping into the shoes, or boots, or wings of an adored character. Fans paint their faces, layer on fabrics, and sculpt wigs, crafting their own interpretations of beloved heroes and heroines. Cosplay is incredibly popular at comic conventions like MCM and SDCC, with over 50% of attendees participating. I also noticed through my interactions that a majority of cosplayers are part of the LGBTQ+ community. So, what makes cosplay so attractive to perform, and why does it have such appeal to LGBT geeks? Gender, sexuality, and community are all important to the cosplayer, regardless of identity. However, something truly meaningful happens for the LGBTQ+ cosplayer: self-actualization and euphoria. Cosplay is a useful tool in self-discovery in addition to being an entertaining pastime. We met with 4 cosplayers who share their stories about the role cosplay plays in their lives, detailing the fascinating ways that they navigate gender, community, and self-actualization through the world of cosplay. Imagine stepping into a world where fiction explodes into reality. Walk into a comic convention and you're met with crowds that make you feel like you've just stepped into a fantasy realm. From bright blue-skinned elves to creatures that walk on all fours, you know it's on like Comic-Con from London to San Diego. But what even is cosplay anyway? I went to the San Diego Comic-Con Museum in San Diego, California, and attended San Diego Comic-Con this summer. I also went to MCM Comic-Con London to finally see what comic conventions are all about and why cosplay is so popular. Through my experience at both MCM and SDCC, I observed that cosplayers make up a vast network of both individual and communal identities. Cosplay is a form of identity play in which individuals dress up as a chosen character, oftentimes performing or LARPing, live-action role-playing, as that persona. Cosplayers are considered fans, who are part of a fandom or a group of fans based in a certain piece of media. This is a space where one finds an escape from the constraints of society and is allowed to explore possibilities beyond limitation. Henry Jenkins states in his book, Textual Poachers, that making meaning from media involves sharing, debating, and engaging with the media in unique and developed ways. And in this case, that is cosplay, a unique and developed way of interpreting media. But I wanted to know why cosplay was so connected to the LGBTQ+ community and what that connection really means.
For me, cosplay is taking a character that I love from a piece of media that I love and replicating the costume and putting whatever design flair that I see fit onto that character.
So cosplay to me, a lot of people described it as a love letter to the thing that you're really enjoying.
Cosplay, ultimately, is defined by the beholder. For some, it relates only to costume wearing, and for others, it can go all the way into role-playing or participating in contests. This makes it a powerful tool for self-actualization in regards to the LGBTQ+ individual.
Cosplay to me is the ability to explore various characters that I enjoy and either play in video games or watch in movies and TV series. I align with their identity, or I see a part of myself in them. I want to explore that by wearing their clothes or embodying them for a day when I go to a convention.
Crawford and Hancock, co-authors of Cosplay and the Art of Play, Exploring Subculture Through Art, argue that the rhetorics of cosplay are defined by the participant, similarly how one's own and that identity is governed by the individual. It seems that each cosplayer has a different definition of the hobby, but for LGBTQ+ participants, their experience of cosplay is directly linked to their queerness. Cosplay is an extension and exploration of the self, where the notion of personal identity has become more important than ever for LGBTQ+ individuals. More than just dressing up, cosplay thrives on the playful exploration of identity. While it might seem like a lighthearted hobby, the performance serves as a deep human need for self-discovery and expression within safe, controlled environments. Performance is an integral part of queerness. It is the cornerstone of expression within queer identity. This is where queerness and cosplay meet, at the epicenter of self-expression, and is a method of creativity that many queer people are drawn to participate in. In linking the phenomenon of cosplay to queer identity, there is truly no established research. It seems that I'm on the frontier of this connection. I wanted the beginnings to come from first-hand experiences of queer people who use cosplay to escape, belong, and affirm.
I'm cosplaying Yasha from Critical Role. She's a beefy barbarian lady, very stoic, a bit mysterious, and gay. Choosing characters that I'm going to cosplay for me is part of that. I like to choose characters that I personally relate to on some level. I think being able to edit a character's look to blend with my own style is really important to me, and being able to pick bits out that you really enjoy, like customize the outfit in different ways. I know a lot of people like art of characters and cosplay art over the official look because of the fact that you can pick which parts you like and which parts you don't like.
This is Denji from Chainsaw Man. It's an anime. It's fun to be able to like just be whoever, be able to change, you know, my personality and my appearance, you know, wigs and binding and, you know, wearing something I might not normally wear. Obviously, I'm fat, so, you know, things don't necessarily fit me as they would the characters in whatever I'm cosplaying, but I've definitely also in the past maybe cut like a wig a little shorter than it's supposed to be, just because it feels more correct to be portraying this character in that way versus like maybe what they actually look like. I'm just gonna be myself in my cosplay and, you know, make it fit me and make it fit my personality and my expression.
Cosplayers make choices for themselves that suit their perception of the character as well as their perception or modification of themselves. Every cosplayer, both knowingly and unknowingly, commits this act, and none of it is free from gender and sexuality.
I am wearing a cosplay of Molly Tea Leaf from the D&D podcast and live show Critical Role. Very similar to myself, a big maximalist, lots of kind of intricate details, very similar to the way that I dress in real life really. As quite a flamboyant man, seeing characters that are very masculine but in a way that kind of goes against the gender norms of traditional masculine silhouettes or expectations and colour palette. Personally, I align very much to those kind of values when it comes to my own masculinity.
This cosplay is Link from Tears of the Kingdom. He is more of an androgynous character. A lot of the fan base kind of view him that way as well. He's this adventurer and this explorer that has to save Hyrule Kingdom. I really relate to the way that he dresses a lot and how he looks. Typically with my costumes, because I'm more masculine or androgynous in the way I present, being a trans person and a non-binary person, I would tend to go for like shorter hair and make my makeup look more angular and more masculine. However, it's really interesting. I decided with this character to go for the long hair, which is kind of viewed more feminine, but I have made it fit me and made it work for how I want to present, and I think that it's come off really well.
Cosplay isn't just about costumes. It's about exploring the spectrum of gender, one carefully chosen wig, one bold accessory, and one fearless performance at a time. Cosplay also provides a sense of community, and this is important for LGBTQ+ cosplayers who may not get a chance elsewhere to belong. Too often, queer people are pushed to the fringes of society, but spaces where bold expressions of self can exist may provide a safe environment for expression. How and to what extent are LGBTQ+ cosplayers represented and affirmed in the cosplay space?
In geek and cosplay culture, I do feel like trans and non-binary people are underrepresented. I don't see a lot of characters that look like me out of cosplay. I feel like I would love to see more characters that have a good storyline that are trans people or non-binary and they're more androgynous looking. But I do feel that there could be more characters like somebody who is non-binary who has a cool storyline that I could relate to as well. And I see a lot of people at conventions taking a lot of binary characters, like Princess Peach for example, but make her non-binary or a guy, and they'll wear shorts instead of the dress, and they might have short hair instead of long hair, and seeing people like that has inspired me to also make those adaptations to my own costumes. I didn't think that I could do that until I saw other people at conventions do that.
The majority of my friends that I've made through going to conventions and cosplaying, they're all queer, and a lot of them are neurodivergent as well. I think they create a really, really safe space for people of those certain minorities to feel like they can express themselves. I think some of the media that is coming out, there could be a lot more done regarding representation, so there's definitely a lot more space that could be made for people like me and others like me.
Definitely a lot of feeling not represented. Obviously there's a huge black community, but the majority of people who show up to conventions, the majority of people in the country obviously are not black, so that's, you know, not something that's often represented. Definitely been called the black version of a character when I'm just being a character. I try to be that representation at least, and you know, just do my best in my cosplay. And I think sometimes it also like pushes me to try and make my things perfect, because I know that I'm already going to be judged just for being myself. So if my costume is completely perfect, then there's nothing you can get me on besides just being racist or fatphobic or being so done up. Gives me like, you know, I'm not invisibility of course, but like, you know, I can talk to people because I'm not myself, I'm someone else, and able to like find that community and then have conversations with people about things that we have in common and things that we like and things that have changed our lives.
I find it easier to insert myself into geek or cosplay culture in spaces where I already know that I will feel welcome. I know especially queer people feel the same, in that having media that represents you and your personality or your like queerness is very important. So I'll often choose to cosplay from shows that have characters who are queer rather than more mainstream avenues of geek culture, which are often more represented in media.
Despite the inclusive spirit of cosplay, challenges remain. This duality, affirmation alongside exclusion, highlights the complexities of LGBTQ+ experiences in cosplay. Our identities, our stories, deserve to be seen, celebrated, and woven into the fabric of geek culture. But change is happening. More inclusive panels, online platforms, and initiatives are creating spaces where diverse voices can be heard and stories amplified, such as the Cosplay Journal, an LGBTQ+-led magazine sold at MCM. By fostering dialogue, promoting visibility, and challenging discriminatory norms, we can bridge the gap and create a truly welcoming cosplay community for all.
Cosplay has a powerful way of changing someone, but maybe the cosplayers also have a powerful way of changing the world. Cosplay gives us a chance to celebrate our differences, embrace our unique identities, and build a more inclusive future for all geeks, cosplayers, and LGBTQ+ individuals alike.
Underneath it all, we're all real.
Whether you have horns
Or scars.
Or you're 9 feet tall.
Because our identities deserve to be seen.
This is COSGENDER.